In this video, I'll show you how to set up and manage live streams in YouTube's live control room. We've built
Good morning and you are welcome to the Al Amarat cricket ground here, Oman Cricket Turf 1.
Good morning and you are welcome to the Al
7
Amarat
cricket
ground
ground
here,
Oman
Cricket
Cricket
Turf
Turf 1 for this game.
Andrew
7
Leonard is here for the first time this week.
Series.
Just fresh off a flight from
Andrew Leonard is
back in
here
Ireland
for the first time this week.
Ireland
just
against Nepal.
fresh off
The
a flight
clash
from back in
Two
Ireland.
of the big
Delighted
sides
to be
here this
for
week.
Ireland against Nepal.
Ireland
The
having won
clash
2 from 3.
Two of the big sides here this
thanks to
week.
Karen
Ireland
Casey's
having won
ongoing
2 from 3.
heroics.
Ireland have
Nepal
won the toss here
unbeaten
this morning
thanks to Karen Casey's
Gary
ongoing
Wilson on
heroics.
quite the streak at the moment.
Ireland
He's
have won
made
the
it.
toss here this morning.
4-1 tosses this week.
Gary
Paris
Wilson
Kadka
on quite the streak at the
calling
moment.
incorrectly
He's
this
made
morning.
it.
4-1
changes
tosses
to both
this week.
sides.
Paris Kadka
Those sides in a little
calling
bit
incorrectly
just
this
after this
morning.
first over, but we're going to have
2
spin to
changes
start
to
up.
both sides.
Spin in the shades a little bit.
Lalit
Rajbanshi,
but we're going to have
He'll be
spin to
bowling.
start up. To Paul Sterling, who'll be
Spin
opening
in
the
the
innings with
shape
Kevin
of-
O'Brien. Lalit Rajbanshi.
And he'll be bowling.
Start with the
Paul
dot
Sterling,
ball
who'll
cut
be
into
opening
the
the innings with
offside.
Kevin
I'm
O'Brien.
joined by Jamil Zaidi to my right. Jamil has been with
Start
you
with the dot ball cut into the
throughout the
offside.
week. I'm joined by
Glorious
Jamil
day here,
Zaidi
Jamil.
to my right.
Yeah,
Jamil has
thank
been
you
with
very
you
much, Andrew, and welcome
throughout
to
the
Oman.
week. Another glorious
I'm sure
day
we'll
here,
be
Jamil.
enjoying
Yeah,
as long as
thank
it's
you
staying
very much,
back in
Andrew, and welcome
the
to
beautiful
Oman.
country, nice
I'm
place.
sure we'll be enjoying as
And,
long as they're staying back in.
Yes, you're a beautiful country,
right
nice
that
place.
Ireland
And the other day,
yes,
producer
you're
of
the best batting
right
performances,
that
especially Kevin
Ireland,
O'Brien.
the other day,
They're the first runs of
producer
the day
the
from
best
Paul
batting
Sterling. He's off the
performances,
mark.
especially Kevin O'Brien.
Just punches
They're
that
the
one
first
down
runs
to
of the
long
day
off.
from
2
Paul
men allowed
Sterling. He's
outside
off
the
the
circle
mark.
in this first 6 overs of power
Just
play.
punches that one down to long off.
Casey,
2 men
one of those
allowed
two
outside the
fielders
circle in
outside
this
the circle.
first
He's at long
6
off.
overs of power play.
The other fielder in the
Karen
deep.
Casey,
He's
one of
out
those
the
2 fielders outside the
old-fashioned
circle.
cow
He's at
corner,
long
really,
off.
Jamil.
And the other fielder in the deep is out of the
Stupendous
old-fashioned
Singh,
cow corner, really, Jamil.
So Kevin O'Brien, the man who made the century, you were here the other
Stupendous
day, is
Singh,
superb,
really.
not Jamil?
Swashbuckling.
Kevin O'Brien, the man who made the century, you were here the other day, is superb, not Jamil?
Deliveries. Awesome batting from him.
7 sixes, 12
As
fours,
he's famous for.
and just 62 deliveries. Awesome batting from him.
So a nice loop to start
As
with
he's
from
famous
Raj
for.
Banshi, the youngster. Come into the side. Nepal
nice
known
loop
for
to
its
start with
spinners,
from
and
Raj Banshi,
Sandeep
the
Lamachani
youngster.
was in the wickets.
Yes, he got 4
Into the
wickets
side.
the other
Nepal
way.
known for its spinners, and
Another match.
Sandeep Lamachani was in the wickets.
First match he was
Yes,
not
he
very
got
much
4 wickets
successful.
the other way.
But the second match he come back
in
with
the first
4
match he was
wickets
not very
all.
much successful, but the second match he come back with 4 wickets all.
Push through, hit into the air, but there's no man at mid-off because Karen Casey is outside the circle. Push through, hit into the air, but there's
like
no
it was a
man at
chance for
mid-off
half a second.
because Karen
Definitely came off
Casey
the
is
toe of
outside
Kevin
the circle.
O'Brien's bat.
So end result is a single.
Like
It was a
a
chance for half a
half-hearted
second.
shot, I
Definitely
think,
came off the
wanted to
toe of
play,
Kevin
push it,
O'Brien's
but
bat.
took it
End
full
result
and,
is a single.
It was a
Just the
half-hearted
ball
shot, I
went
think.
into
Wanted
the
to
air,
play it, push it deep
took it
mid-off,
full and
the bowler.
just the ball
Not a
went
chance
into
you
the
can
air,
say, but of course,
deep mid-off
not a very good shot.
and the bowler. Not a chance you
O'Brien
can
coming
say,
off
but
that
of course,
record
not a
innings of
very good shot.
124. The first
O'Brien
Irishman,
coming off
the
that
14th
record
in
innings of
history,
124.
a century in
First
all
Irishman,
3
the
international
14th in
formats, Test
history
cricket, to make
ODI
a
cricket,
century in
and
all
T20
3
cricket.
international formats, Test cricket.
Banshee
Not finding any great turn
ODI
yet.
cricket and
Sterling
T20
drives that into
cricket.
the offside for a dot
Banshee
ball.
not finding
It's
any
the
great
same
turn
wicket
yet.
from the
Sterling
first
drives
match.
that into the
So one of
offside
3
for
wickets will be using
the
throughout
top
the week.
ball.
It's
Correct.
the same
Good
batting
batting
conditions
conditions
from the
so far.
first match.
Well, as far
So
as the
one of
bat-
3 wickets will be using
wickets
throughout the
taken.
week.
Correct.
Good
Yes,
batting
a bit
conditions so
slower.
far.
Well, as far as the
But batsman had to
wickets
wait,
hit,
and then
it's
hit
a
the
bit
ball.
slower.
So far things are going well,
but
it is
batsmen had
helping
to wait
bowlers
and
and
then
batsmen
hit the
both.
ball.
So far things are going
Really
well.
good tight start
It
from
is helping
Raj
bowlers
Banshi.
and
He
batsmen
finishes
both.
with just 2 runs coming from that over. Really good tight start from Raj Banshi.
Lost the
He
toss this
finishes
morning.
with just 2
Paras
runs
Kadka's
coming
gonna
from
be
that
happy with
over.
that.
Let's take a look at the 2 starting 11s.
Having lost the toss this morning,
2
Paras
changes for
Kadka's
both
gonna be happy with
sides.
that.
Let's take a look at the 2 starting
their last
11s.
matches for Ireland, the 2 changes.
2 changes for
coming in
both
the shape of
sides. Lorcan Tucker
from
and
their
Craig
last
Young
matches
going
for
out of the
Ireland,
starting
2
11
changes
with George Dockrell, the
coming in the
left-arm
shape
spinner.
of
And
Lorcan
Big Boyd
Tucker and
Rankin,
Craig Young going
tallest
out of the
fast
starting
bowler on
11
show
with
here this
George
week,
Dockrell,
coming
the
into the
left-arm
side.
spinner.
And Big
Boyd
Boyd
Rankin,
Rankin.
the tallest
So
fast
2
bowler
changes
on
for
show
them
as
here
well.
this week,
Perhaps
coming
a
into
little
the
bit
side.
surprising to see
Rohit
Powell
Powell.
and Powan Saraf.
2 changes for them as well. The
Perhaps
batting
a little bit
surprising
surprising
to see
starting 11.
Rohit Powell and Powan Saraf
Into
into
the
the
side.
side.
Been opening the batting,
Starting for
go
them
out to
today.
the starting
11. Come in
and into the side.
starting for them today into the 11. Come in and Sandeep Jora as well. So coming into the 11. Going to be spin from both ends to start, and perhaps a little bit surprising for you that we'll see Sandeep Lamachani spin
as
in
well.
from both ends.
He
Nice
started
start.
the innings, so
Perhaps a
yeah,
little
he
bit
did it,
surprising for
the
you
earlier
that we'll
match
see
also.
Sandeep Lamachani as well.
Very
Like
first
He
very
ball.
well
started
open
the
ball.
innings, so yeah, he did it the earlier match
First
also.
ball or
First
very
spell.
first ball. He got so I think he brought him back just to contain the onslaught from the Iceland batsman back. just to contain
Starts with an
the
absolute beauty, almost to
onslaught
wicket
from
from
the
that first ball. I
passing
think the
batsman.
Nepalese fielders thought that might have been an
Starts with an
outside
absolute
edge.
beauty,
Almost to wicket from that first ball.
held
I think
behind
the
the stumps.
Nepalese fielders thought that
Bennett
might have been an
Bandari
outside
keeping
edge.
wicket.
Paris Kalka there at first slip. Be held behind the stumps. That's Bennett Bandari keeping wicket. And Paris Kalka there at first slip.
Yes, he was the skipper of the team. And Lamichan, he just gave little air to this delivery, and once it bounced, just little turn, and it was completely beat by his spin.
Shorter this time, cut into the deep. That's going to be the first boundary of the day from O'Brien. He picks up length so quickly off the spinners, rocks onto the back foot, punches it backward a square, and that's the first boundary of the day.
So a good start for Kevin, though he quite a bit. But the moment he comes on the wicket, he starts hitting the ball the way it looks. He's batting from last 2 or 3 days. So much confident he is whenever he started innings.
Yeah, it looks ominous indeed to start with from O'Brien.
Yeah, okay.
Good comeback from Lamachani and aggression to start. It's a 9:30 a.m. start here, local time. Glorious weather. Did have a little bit of rain earlier in the week. Did the Irish bring the
on
rain
very
to the
first match.
desert?
Yes. It was really a welcome rain for Oman, especially in the Muscat. It's very less rain during the season, you know. But that was a very unfamiliar and unexpected rain that we had last week.
Change in the field. Long off comes into the circle into mid-off, and Lamachani pushes long on back. Goes slower and quicker, but strays down the leg side. I think that's one of his variations. Just coming out the front of the hand, skidding on with the arm, but correctly signalled wide. 2 standing umpires today we have are Rahul Asher and Vinod Babu. And our third umpire, Hari Krishna, who'll be referring any of the run-outs. O'Brien looks for the slog sweep. There's a man out at long on. He puts his hand to the sky to block the sun. He takes the catch. O'Brien can't believe it. Lamachani does it again. His wicket-taking form continues. He's the leading wicket-taker in T20 international cricket this year. He can't stop taking wickets. He's got the big scalp of Kevin O'Brien.
Of course, it's one of the most important wicket I think the Nepal has got it. The man who was really dangerous becoming in every in the coming matches. And it's a very, very good
Here's the replay,
wicket for
on
Nepal.
your screens now. You can see O'Brien looking for the slog sweep. 2 men in the deep, and he's picked one of them out absolutely perfectly.
The ball came very slow off the wicket. I think he was looking for a quicker one, but unfortunately the ball was a bit slower one. And it came straight to a fielder. He doesn't have to move a bit into the hands of deep square leg. Very, very vital wicket for Nepal.
Yeah, that's a big wicket, certainly, and it's going to bring Andy Balbirnie to the crease. Karen KC it was out at Cow Corner, and Kevin O'Brien couldn't have picked him out any better. Straight down his throat. You could see just for a moment he was looking to shield the sun from his eyes, despite the hat he's got on. He ended up taking the catch comfortably. That'll be the start that the Nepal fans wanted all over the world. They've won their first 2 in this. They could go top of the table with a win here over Ireland.
Yeah, of course. Looks like that. If they contain them within the margin they're expecting out, hopefully they will do it.
Half a mix-up between Balbirnie and Sterling. It was only half a stop at backward point from Sundeep Jura. And they say never run on a misfield. Perhaps good decision by the 2 Irish batsmen.
Yeah, of course. Balbirnie is not among the ranks. He has played a couple of matches before. Only in one match he looks very terrific form, but once he gets settled, he got out.
Really good stuff this from Lamachani, causing problems. 5 runs and the wicket coming from that second over after 2 overs. Nepal on top. Ireland here 7 for 1.
Well, right on actually, this was 2 overs. I think Nepal has got the upper end on Ireland. And as I told you, the wicket of Kevin O'Brien is the most vital wicket for Nepal. He's the danger man for every team, not only for Nepal. And they got him out.
Yeah, really good stuff from Lamachani. Not a huge amount of turn yet. I was speaking with the head groundsman this morning. He was saying he felt maybe this afternoon might take a little bit more turn, but they've been good batting surfaces, average scores quite high.
I'll tell you, Andrew, from last all 3 matches, 3 days that has been played, the wicket is playing nicely because, spinners got a lot of wickets, medium pacers, fast bowlers, all have got that good wickets in it. And the batsman scored also.
Cut away powerfully, and again, only half a stop this time at extra cover, so they will get back for 2 because it was parried wide of Karen KC at long off.
Karan is the most successful bowler for Nepal. He has got 8 wickets in 2 matches, 4 wickets apiece. In both the matches they have played against Hong Kong and against Netherlands.
Down the track, that's glorious from Sterling. He gets to the pitch from Raj Bansi and deposits it into the crowd. Nearly takes out the third umpire there. He is to take evasive action. What a shot from the big Irish opener, Paul Sterling.
That was a beauty. He just uses his feet and hit it hard over the deepish mid-on boundary. The good part of that, both of them play their natural game. They don't like they are in the pressure or something like that. They play their own game, which is a very good sign for them.
Yeah, you're just seeing the replay on your screen there. Using his feet beautifully, Sterling. This time he goes outside his leg stump looking to access the offside. Gets it down the ground. Karen KC does the fielding. Sterling a little bit shy of runs given his prolific 2019, but ominous signs to start the morning there.
Well, I think Paul Sterling, one of the best Ireland has got, and he's always scoring for them for ages.
Balbirnie looks for the sweep shot, which he favours against the spinners, and Nepal are a buzz this morning. Really good energy, vibrancy from them in the field. It's a youthful side they have. Some of their more experienced players left back from this tour of initially Singapore, where they played Singapore and Zimbabwe in the Tri-Series before coming here for the Pentangular Series in Oman.
So who's the best player left out from Nepal?
That's powered into the leg side. It's going to be 6 more. This one clatters into the roof and comes down towards our commentary position here. I think our cameraman's going to be on the job there to rescue that one. The second 6 of the over. Balbirnie utilising the slog sweep. That's a glorious shot.
Yes, absolutely. So that's the only way to get it out. That was a slower one, and he nicely picked it up once again to the same position where he has played before. Lovely shot from him.
Yeah, it's a glorious shot from Andrew Balbirnie, and despite the early loss of O'Brien, they're going to continue to attack Ireland. The change in the field, Paris Kadka comes out of first slip and comes into a short extra cover. Nicely bowled and just punched down the ground by Balbirnie. Well fielded by Sampal Kami. But Sterling's got enough pace to get home. That's going to end the third over. 16 runs coming from that one. The most expensive of the innings so far. Ireland moved to 23 for 1.
Well, it's going for them after losing Kevin O'Brien right in the first over. I think if they kept betting like this, hopefully they will get a good, respectable total.
Let's just take a look at the points table so far. You can see Oman are top because of net run rate at the moment. Ireland in second despite that loss to Oman, and Nepal in third purely because of net run rate. But if Nepal can find the win here, it would set up a brilliant winner-takes-all showdown tomorrow afternoon against the hosts.
Correct, absolutely right. And this is the only team which is, as of now, they are meeting with the Oman team. Both of team are unbeaten so far. And really, Nepal, the last match they have played against Netherlands, it was a thriller. In the last over, 17 runs were required for Nepal to win in 6 balls. And this guy, Karan, has done that one in a very, very fine style.
Yeah, so it's going to be a change in bowling. I think it's going to be, is it Sampal Kami coming into the attack here? In fact, it is Sampal Kami, yeah, with number 1 on his back. So we'll see Karen KC probably a little bit later on. So change in bowling. Just the one over for the leg spin of Sandeep Lamachani.
Normally, Karan coming in between the overs. But Sampal is the spearhead of their fast bowling attack. He's starting the innings from them.
Yeah, and all Nepalese fans will be happy to see him back in national colours after some problems with injury. Getting up to good pace as well. Something that Nepal aren't renowned for, extreme fast bowling, more known for their spinners.
Yes, of course.
Good to see Sampal Kami bowling with good gas here.
You know, this part of the world, especially our subcontinent, we're more, you will find better spinners, but from last couple of years, things are changed a bit. All India, Pakistan, they have got beautiful fiery fast bowlers in their sides.
Beats him. That one just kept a little bit low. Really nicely bowled by Sampal Kami. Balbirnie didn't get forward. He didn't come back. And he ended up really playing a nothing shot. And his off stump is lucky to survive.
Yeah, it went a bit away from the off stump, but ball kept low. Actually, he wanted to ball. He was expecting the ball to come up, but it went very low. And beats him outside the off stump through to the keeper.
Cut into the deep. That's a glorious shot from Balbirnie. It was just back of a length. Not a huge amount of foot movement again, but as soon as it pierces the infield here, it's always going to be 4 runs. One of the shots of the morning from Andrew Balbirnie.
Beautifully played onto the back foot. Just punched it out, fiercely out point toward the point boundary 4. A lovely shot.
You see in the replay now on your screens, it was back of a length from Balbirnie. He didn't really move his feet at all, but that's how true this pitch is. Just plays through the line, pierces the field between backward point, and
it's a glorious shot.
Glorious shot is right, Jamil. It's going to be back-to-back boundaries because despite the best efforts, the dive of Avinash Bahara, fine leg. Because fine leg's in the circle, it's going to be 4 more. You're only allowed 2 fielders outside the circle. Back-to-back boundaries for Balbirnie.
Lovely shot off his toes. Flicked it down towards the fine leg. As you correctly said, the short leg or the fine leg was up and it went through to the fielder. He tried his best, but unfortunately couldn't get it and ball through to the boundary. 4 more to him. Lovely shot.
Looks for the bouncer. Balbirnie decides to leave that one alone. Going to finish with the dot. Some promise in that over from Kami, but 10 runs coming from it. Ireland just coming back into the ascendancy. 33 for 1 now after 4.
Yeah, actually after losing Kevin O'Brien, they've come back quickly now. 33 for 1. They have 4 overs completed. And a very healthy run rate, 8.2.
Let's take a look at those 2 playing 11s if you're just joining us for the first time today. 2 changes for both sides. Nepal unbeaten here, of course. And how their fans at home are going to be saying, why aren't we going to the T20 World Cup qualifier next week, coming into some form? But that's the Irish side on your screen. George Dockrell and Boyd Rankin coming into the side in place of Lorcan Tucker and Craig Young. No game for Barry McCarthy this week. He's had to be content to carry the drinks. And there's the Nepal team. 2 changes for them as well. Rohit Powdell and Pawan Saraf, perhaps a bit surprisingly, coming out of the side, but we're going to see Ishan Pandey and Sandeep Jura today. So another change in bowling, just the 2 overs for Lalit Singh Rajbanshi. He's being brought out of the attack. And we'll see the star man, Sandeep Lamachani, brought back into the attack. The Globetrotter plays his T20 franchise cricket all around the world. Paul looking for another wicket here.
Yeah, of course. He's one of the best leg spinners we have in the world, like him, Rashid Khan of Afghanistan and Shadab of Pakistan as well.
Sterling looks for the sweep, and that was a chance. It could have been a second wicket for Lamachani, but it's burst through the hands of Avinash Bahara. That is a drop catch. That is going to go down as a chance, and what a turning point in the game that is.
Could have been, yes, if the coach had been taken. But it's a valiant effort by the fielder.
Here comes the replay on your screens now. Sterling went outside the off stump, looked for the sweep shot. It came off the top edge, and realistically, that should have been taken.
Great effort by the fielder at short line. Like he really jumped up and.
Big appeal here, given not out. Looks like it's come off the pad of Sterling, looped up, and it has been successfully taken by Paris Kadka, but given not out. So not out for the LBW or the catch. The double appeal from Nepal, not successful.
Well, nowadays, the people, especially the bowlers, try to take every possible, chance to get the wicket, whether it is got behind or stumping.
Really nice bowling this from Sandeep Lamachani. He's not afraid to toss it up, get it outside the off stump. That's 3 consecutive sweep shots from Sterling. The first one should have been taken, should have been a wicket. The next 2 creating chances. This is really good stuff from Lamachani.
He's a very good bowler, very, very good bowler. Experience playing cricket all around.
Looks for the sweep shot again, and that's 3 consecutive deliveries where Sterling hasn't been able to make contact. Good tactics this from Nepal.
Actually, only those things put pressure on the batsman, you know. If you continue to try to play your shots and doesn't get that, then the batsman become a bit, you know, irritated. Why it's not coming, why it's not coming. But again, the experience counts here.
Looks for the sweep shot yet again. Remarkable stuff here. We've had 4 deliveries in the over. The first ball was a boundary 4, but the second, third and fourth delivery all missed sweep shots from Sterling. Pressure on the opener. 14 off 12 he is.
Yeah.
Gets that sweep away. That's what he was looking for the second, third and fourth deliveries. 5 consecutive sweep shots from Paul Sterling. 2 of them going for boundaries. 4 dot balls in the middle. He'll be happy enough with that, but perhaps a little bit of fortune for Paul Sterling there.
I think Lamichane bowled very well. He was bowling with the variations in the last 4 deliveries which Paul Sterling tried to sweep. He was trying to change the pace, slower one, quicker one, but all outside the off stump. This is the one that you put it on the middle, and it was rightly stuck up to the square leg for 4.
That's the first time he got the elevation that he was looking for compared to the other deliveries. So the end result is 8 runs from the over, but how easily it could have been another wicket for Sandeep Lamichane.
Yeah.
As I was saying, the leading wicket taker in T20 international cricket this year. And ironically, he dismissed the leading run scorer in T20 international cricket to start the day. That's Kevin O'Brien. He's been in sparkling form for Ireland at the top of the order, but he couldn't repeat his heroics after that 100 against Hong Kong today. So it's the former Middlesex pairing of Paul Sterling and Andy Balbirnie who are going to be facing up to another one of the star men from Nepal, because we are going to see Karen KC for the final over of the power play.
Yeah, as I told you earlier, it comes in the middle of the overs, and every time it comes, he's making an impact. Either got a wicket and kept the batsman quiet with his ledging length and 9.
What about his batting as well?
Oh, he did that match. He was a man of match in the match against the Hong Kong.
So Karen KC coming into the attack from the Muscat end and immediately finds the block hole. Sterling and Balbirnie really enjoy batting together. Former housemates, of course. They used to live together in London when they played for Middlesex. Both Paul Sterling and Balbirnie back in Ireland now with the decision that Irish players can no longer play in county cricket unless they're overseas. So Paul Sterling declared for Ireland, decided he had the path to decide, was it going to be Middlesex or was it going to be Ireland? And all Irish fans rejoiced in September when he made that decision. Balbirnie gets the short ball straight away in the hook shot. That's going to be 1 bounce 4. Picks
Beautiful.
up length so well. 4 more runs to Ireland.
Great timing from Balbirnie. Right onto the back foot, cracks it past square leg for 4. Beautiful shot. I was just mentioning about Karen Casey in the match against Netherlands. He is the man of the match. In the last over, they required 17 runs, Nepal. And this guy hit 1-6 on the very first ball, then dot, then a boundary, then again dot, a boundary, a 6, and on the last ball he took a single.
Half an appeal from Karen KC as it thuds into the inner thigh pad of Balbirnie. They're going to run through and be correctly signalled as a leg by the standing umpire. But you can see there Balbirnie, he's comfortable on the back foot. As soon as the length was dropped short by Karen Casey, he picks up the hook shot. This is the final over of the power play. The 2 fielders in the deep, out at deep square leg, almost a deep mid wicket really, and third man.
Karen bowling very well actually. He just uses variations, slower ones, quicker ones, and then Yorker one also kept the batsman quiet. But the only shot he played a bit 2-3 balls before by Balbirnie. It was a shot, and he just took it over the square leg.
Good tight stuff this from Karen KC. Again, thuds into the thigh pad. We'll see the standing umpire signal leg by again. So back-to-back leg buys. There's been promising signs from the Nepal bowlers so far this morning.
Yeah.
It hasn't been made to look easy for Ireland.
Well, you know, you start with the spinners. It is not always a very good sign. Because the new ball normally doesn't turn, but mostly it goes skidding. and keeping you quiet.
Balbirnie looks for the on drive, but can't beat Lalit Singh Rajbanshi there at mid-wicket. This young Nepalese side, they look alive in the field, they look energetic, they look like a good outfit.
No doubt about it. Energetic, lively fielding, and on the toes every time when they are playing up to the end of 20th over.
And they're so well led by their captain, Paris Kadka, and he's just brought about a change in the field. Third man comes up into the circle, and the skipper himself will go back to long off. So long off and deep mid-wicket out. Kushal Malla on as a sub-fielder. I'm just going to find out who that's for. Balbirnie punches that one into the offside. You were saying he's been a little bit short of runs this week, Balbirnie, but he's a class act.
Of
Irish
course,
number 3.
no doubt. He started very well on the previous innings. But in the middle of the innings, sometimes, he a bit slower and then got out. As far as this skipper of Nepal team is concerned, Paras Khatka, he is the longest serving captain of Nepal. And he has a lot of credit to his himself, playing a lot of gym of innings. Recently scored a century in, I think, Singapore. He's a very, very good all-rounder. Very, very useful bowler, mixing up his deliveries with spin and medium pacers. Just got into the attack now.
Just a change of gloves there. Shane Getgate, one of Ireland's substitutes, running on new gloves. It is quite humid here. And we're about 15 minutes outside of downtown Muscat in Oman. It's warm, the thermometer pushing up towards around 30 degrees already, despite the fact it's just around 10 a.m. local time. And speaking of Paris Kadka, he's going to bring himself on to bowl. We've seen him bowl medium pace back in the day, but
he mixes his deliveries, spin,
bowlers off breaks.
Yeah, he's a very useful bowler, and I got wickets times whenever sometimes they are looking for wickets. He's trying to do it, and normally he's successful in that.
He's going to operate around the wicket to Paul Sterling from the end at which we're commentating, which we're calling the Al Amarat end today. Wendell LeBroy, the match referee today. Our 3 umpires, all locals from Oman Cricket, Raul Asher and Vinod Babu are standing. Harry Krishna, the 3rd umpire. Sterling heaves that one into the leg side. There is a man out there, but it's going to soar over his head into the trees. What a shot that is from the big Irish opener. Just for a minute, deep square leg, thought he was in action, but it sailed over his head for 6.
It's far away from that field. It went very high, up and there, over the mid-wicket boundary for 6. It's a long 6.
Yeah, here's the replay on your screens now, and as you can see, it soars miles over the head of deep square leg. Kushal Malla, that is out there at deep square leg. He's on as a sub-fielder. Yeah. I'm just trying to find out who he's on for. Sandeep Lamachani's just briefly off. Dragged down by Paris Kadka. Not a good delivery. Cut away by Sterling. Back-to-back boundaries.
Yeah, it was a short of the length, and he had all the time in the world to play. A smash it past gully and 0.4 runs. Today, Paul, I think, is taking cue from Kevin O'Brien, what he did in last match against Hong Kong.
Well, this is the double threat that Ireland have at the top of the innings now, with O'Brien having moved up to open the batting with Paul Sterling. Really clever batting from Sterling. He's gone 6-4 and just happy to clip that one into the leg side for a single.
Lovely batting was part of Paul. He's playing superbly, and of course he should have been there, being more responsible among the two at the moment, because this match is also very critical for Ireland as well as Nepal also.
Yeah, whichever side wins this morning will go top of the table in this pentangular series, which for 4 of the 5 sides anyway, they are all building up to the T20 World Cup qualifiers next month.
It is a great opportunity for all the teams playing in this pentangular cricket tournament, because the qualifier is just 2 weeks away from it, and they have...
When I said next month, of course, I meant next week. Very soon coming up, we'll have 14 sides battling it out for 6 places. That's going to end the 7th over, and Ireland move to 59 for 1.
It's a very good total.
Looking good. So, Jamil, I'll bid farewell to you for the moment. We've got our first guest commentator coming into the commentary box now. I'll be joined by the Irish team manager, Chris Siddle, who is sporting shorts and a floppy hat. Is that anything to do with the weather, Chris?
Yes, it is quite warm here. It's a lot warmer than it was in February when we were here. I think we've talking to the locals here, the summer's just clinging on as long as it can, and it's a lot more humid and a lot hotter than we expected it to be.
For those perhaps listening back in Ireland, just describe to us the difference in the conditions that the Irish side are used to training in.
Yeah, so the humidity really makes it hard to cool down. You sweat a lot, but the sweat doesn't evaporate so quick, and it kind of sticks to you, and you end up very wet. Your shirt, your pads, everything gets very wet, and you find it a lot harder to cool down.
Karen KC is going to continue from the Muscat end. Balbirnie looks for the quick single. He does get there, and despite the throw going all the way through to the third man, fielder Avanesh Bahara, who has dropped Paul Sterling. We wonder how crucial that drop's going to be. The end result's just a single. Chris, it looks like this week must have been ideal preparation for you boys.
Yeah, it's been fantastic for us. I think all the teams here will say the same thing. It was great to be able to get out here and play games, back-to-back games, quick turnarounds, double headers, and kind of do everything that we're going to be doing at the qualifiers in the same conditions.
Slower ball from Karen KC onto the hip of Paul Sterling. Happy to just work that for a single. How difficult has it been? 4 games in 5 days in this heat?
Yeah, the 3 games in 3 days was very tough. Particularly we played an afternoon game and then we're straight back for a 9:30 start the next morning, which is very tough on guys. You don't have time to really recover properly in the way that you'd like to. So, but it's been a great test for guys, and some guys have had to really stand up, work hard, and make sure they're doing the right things to keep themselves in the best position to play.
Balbirnie comes down the track, gets to the pitch of that, and with mid-off in the circle, as soon as you beat the infield here, it's always going to be 4 runs. Really good batting from Balbirnie. These two starting to tick now. Balbirnie moves to 27. We'll take a look at the replay on your screen. Karen KC, not extreme pace, so as soon as Balbirnie got to the pitch of that and found the elevation he needed over mid-off, it was always going to be 4. The standard of cricket looks to have been quite good this week as well. You've been pleased?
Yeah, it's been very good. We've played very well. We've probably tried a few things that we wanted to try out in the heat. Lots of bowling changes, lots of things that maybe we wouldn't do in the qualifiers. We've had a chance to try out here.
Another slower ball from Balbirnie. Looks for the sweep shot, and rather acrobatic piece of fielding from Avanesh Bahara. He ends up almost doing the splits, but crucially finds the stop. And he'll be wanting to make amends after dropping Paul Sterling earlier off Sandeep Lamachani.
I think it's also shown this week as well how tight these qualifiers are going to be. I think the Ducks should maybe be a little disappointed how they performed this week, but they've had a few guys come in who didn't play in the Tri-Series in Malahide. It's going to be such a competitive group for both teams, or both groups.
Sterling just runs that one off the face. There's going to be work for the subfielder, Kushal Malla, who gets the throw in and prevents it to just a single. The format that you have coming up in the qualifiers, 2 groups of 7, looks like you definitely need to win 5. You might need to win all 6 to top the group and gain automatic qualification.
Yeah, I think you have to go into that group expecting the need to win all 6. It's I think people might argue we might have a slightly better group with the way Hong Kong have kind of looked. They're maybe a little weaker than we'd expected them to be with the players they've lost, but we're definitely going in there expecting and hoping to win all 6 games.
Cut away by Balbirnie, backward at point, Kushal Malla. That's an outstanding stop from him. One-handed, just drags it in inches from the rope, and he saves 2 runs. The subfielder doing his job there. That's with his weaker hand as well, gets his right hand out. Outstanding piece of fielding. Umpire's just checking with him, and in fact it's been given as a 4, so really good honesty from Kushal Malla. You can see the replay on your screen here. Yeah, it did just make contact with the rope.
Yeah, it's a very difficult place to get away with something like that when you're right in front of the Irish dressing room, so it was very good that he was honest about that.
Yeah, I think a few of the Irish boys on the side were maybe indicating boundary 4, were they?
I think he was maybe pressured into that one a little.
A good spirit of cricket from Kushal Malla right down in the rope, but it was an outstanding effort. Going to have a change in bowling because it's just going to be the solitary over from the skipper. Paris Kadke is going to go back to the left arm spin of Lalit Singh Rajbanshi. We've seen spin play its part this week, but the wicket's perhaps not turning as much as you might have expected here in the Middle East.
Yeah, I think it maybe turns a little bit more in the morning and then flattens out a little bit and doesn't turn as much in the afternoon. So it's probably a good challenge for us, a good test for us to bat first here and face some of their spin attack and really challenge ourselves before getting into the UAE.
punched into the offside by Sterling. Just going to be a single. The conditions that you'll experience, I think it's Abu Dhabi you go to first. Would you be expecting quite similar?
Yeah, we're probably very similar. Pitch at Abu Dhabi is usually very good, be very similar to this pitch. We do play a couple of morning games there, and we play a couple of games that are on the second oval there, which we'd know a little less about. But we've played a lot of games in the stadium and know what to expect there.
Balbirnie looks for the sweep and drags it from well outside the off stump. Just going to be a single. Yeah, I think that second in Abu Dhabi is the one where Ireland famously got it to rain for the first time and had the match abandoned against Italy. And there was a bit of rain as soon as you arrived in Oman. What is it about the Irish side, wherever you go?
Funnily enough, I think there's only one country I've toured where it hasn't rained, and that's Scotland.
Ireland are coming off a win in the GS Holding T20 Tri-Series where you managed to triumph in the most narrow of margins over Netherlands and Scotland. Tell us a bit about that week.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great week. Obviously, it came together very late after the Euroslam was kind of postponed at the last minute, and it was fantastic for all three boards, and Cricket Ireland in particular being able to get that on and get some competitive cricket for everyone.
And I think you were saying it was your first trophy as an Irish manager. What was that feeling like?
Yeah, it was first tri-series. We've won a bilateral one, but it was the first chance for me to get a trophy from a tri-series, it's a nice feeling, and hopefully we'll come home with another one at the end of this month.
Yeah, I'm speaking here with Chris Siddle, the Irish team manager. He's been kind enough to join us for the middle overs of this T20 International between Ireland and Nepal. That's a brilliant stop at backward point, diving full length to his right. Saves it absolutely certain four.
I think that's something we've noticed this week. The level of fielding with all the teams has been absolutely fantastic, and maybe a big change since the last qualifiers in Ireland in 2015 is all the teams that are going to be there this month are going to be excellent fielding teams, and they're going to really put pressure on you in the field.
Yeah, Dipendra Singh Airi at backward point, diving full length to his right, and about 4 or 5 of the Nepal fielders over to give him a high five and congratulate him on saving 4. Good tactics this though from Raj Banshi. You can see not allowing both Sterling and Balbirnie to go to their favoured sweep or slog sweep as we move to the end of the 9th over. Ireland in cruise control at 74 for 1. Has it been difficult to know what winning scores have been here this week, or have you been happy with the way the batting's been going?
I think we've been pretty happy. It's tough when you first get somewhere trying to figure a past score and play to that, but I think we've become very good at adjusting what we're doing, especially if we're batting first. And even when we're bowling, teams get away from us at the start maybe, and it looks like, oh, maybe this is a 200 wicket, but we always back ourselves to get back into the game and get a spell on top and restrict teams. And then we know we're capable of scoring 200 in every game. So we try not to worry too much about that. And if things are going well, we can change the batting order around, we can move people about, and potentially someone like Gareth Delaney can come in early, can come in a bit later, and we saw the other day Mark Adair came in much higher up the order than we thought he would, but we were in a good position, so it's great to have that flexibility and kind of work away at that.
We've seen Gareth Delaney operate a little bit at number 4. He was quite successful as sort of a stand-in opener for Paul Sterling in that tri-series in Malahide as Sterling was struggling with a calf injury. But is that something you'll continue to see? You think you'll see a flexibility with the Irish order throughout the qualifiers?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to be in 2020. You're going to get games where it's a bit of a dogfight and you might be chasing 120 and lose a couple of early wickets, and you need someone to potentially go in there and score a run of ball or just shy of that and really stabilise things. And there's going to be times where you're 120 for 1 after 15 overs and you want someone like Gareth or Mark Adair to go in and
absolutely smash it into the offside. I think you were just about to say
do something like that.
Paul Sterling's done it right on cue for Chris Siddle, because it was absolutely in the slot from the change of bowling. Avanesh Bahara has come into the attack renowned for his slingy Yorkers. He's found the slot though, and Paul Sterling has smashed that away. Here comes the replay. Powerfully hit into the offside. Really impressive from Sterling. And after the boundary for misfield from Binod Bandari with the gloves. So the first bye of the day. Signalled. Bahara wouldn't have been someone you'd have seen a lot of, but a slightly different action, a bit Malinga-esque.
Yeah, it is. Little slingy. It's pictures like this, it can, especially if you get a little cross seam on it, it can really skid on and take you by surprise.
Just getting a big smile from Sandeep Lamachani down at third man as he's back onto the pitch, just off for 3 or 4 overs. slower ball from Avanesh Bahara, punched down the ground nicely by Balbirnie for a single. These two really seem to enjoy batting together, Chris.
They do, yeah. I think it's hard not to enjoy batting with someone like Paul Sterling or like Andrew Balbirnie. So I think they both feel the same way about Kevin as well. So it's great to have three guys at the top that really enjoy batting with each other, really understand each other, and it's sort of been visible in the last 18 months since the top order's been these three.
Fortune for Sterling. He finds the outside edge, and although Lamachani's quick, he can't get around to cut that one off. It's going to be a boundary 4. Not exactly where Sterling was looking to go, but the outside edge with no slip in place. Even though it was a full toss, looking for the block hole, Bahar. That's what he tries to do, get it full and really tuck up the batsman. But Sterling profits with a boundary 4. Both of these batsmen a little bit shy of runs, which isn't something we've said at any point in 2019. So perhaps today being the day that they'll come into their own and make large scores.
Yeah, I hope so. I think they've both been batting very well, but 2020, the nature of the game is you're not going to score big runs every time. So it's going to be great for these two. They've definitely taken notice of Kevin getting his 100 the other day. That I think it was always kind of inevitable. It was going to be one of those three was going to be the first. So hopefully one of these two can follow suit fairly quickly.
More work for Lamachani at third man, and he's going to get the boot out.
Das boot.
He's a young man, but he's fielded it like a veteran. And Courtney Walsh or Curtly Ambrose, notorious for that back in the day. But Lamachani gets the foot out, and the fancy footwork saves the 4, but can't prevent the 2. And Ireland really starting to hum now. 87 for 1 in the 10th over. Clever bit of work from Lamachani, perhaps, noting he was in front of the Irish side there.
He's just heard you mention that bit of elderly fielding there and just had a little giggle over towards you there. You do wonder he's just had a couple of overs off the field. Maybe if he's got a little niggle or something's a little sore, maybe it was a deliberate effort to not dive just in case.
Let's take a look at the bowling figures as we reach the halfway point of the innings. Ireland 87 for 1 after 10 overs. Ladit Rajbanshi opened up with his spin twin Sandeep Lamachani. We've seen the seam bowling of Sampal Kami, Karen KC and Avanesh Bahara as well. Just a solitary over for Paris Kadka, but the Nepal captain is going to continue to ring the changes. He's going to go back to Sampal Kami, who was a little unfortunate. I thought his first over was really sharp and impressive, but 10 runs came from it. Ireland will be looking, perhaps, Chris, to get up towards 180, 190 from the position they're in now.
Yeah, I think if you get a good start, you always got to look towards 200, and really that's becoming the standard target now for most teams. If you're on a good wicket, if you're not scoring near 200, then you're probably going to struggle in the game a little bit. So it's always nice to have that as a target, and obviously the way things are going, you keep wickets in hand and you've got plenty of wickets the last 6-7 overs. It's definitely something that's doable.
Yeah, Sampal Kami is going to come back in. He's a change of end as well. He'll come in from the Al Amrad end near our commentary position here. The Oman Cricket Academy, wonderful facilities. Really good running between Sterling and Balbirnie. They get back for 2. All the fielders in the leg side are in the deep, with the exception of Fine Leg, who's in the circle. So plenty of time to get back for 2. Tell us about the facilities here, Chris. They seem world class.
Yeah, it's fantastic facilities. There's 2 full-size ovals with really good squares on them. We're playing all our games on the first oval with the big floodlights. We do most of the practice on the second oval out in the middle, and then the huge net area, huge indoor school here as well. So it's a real fantastic facility that's being built here.
Good pace from Kami, quickest of the bowlers on show so far today. Sterling just punches that one down the ground for a single. The throw comes in, hits middle stump, but no damage done. You will play some matches in the UAE under floodlights. How will you prepare for those? You'll get some training sessions in?
Yeah, so we've got a training session. I think our second or third training sessions under lights while we're there. It's really important because we do have a couple of young guys who've maybe not experienced that before, and it's getting out there, and fielding's the real big thing, getting out and hitting high catches, going in and out of the lights and really adjusting to that and the different colour of the sky and things. That's the real important part.
Short ball, that's on the hook shot. It's come off the top edge. The extra pace has caused this chance, and it's put down. The second drop catch of the innings. There's a little bit of confusion from the fielders running in, and those running round, and it ends up that for the second time today, Avinash Bahar has put down the catch. This one a much more difficult one than the first chance he dropped off Lamachani. He did get there. I'm not sure he got his hands to it, but Sterling survives again.
Yeah, it's always very difficult, those ones, when it's up in the air and it's up there for so long and you know there's other fielders running towards you. It's sometimes difficult to fully commit to it.
Good pace from Sampal Kami. Crucial for Nepal that he's back to full fitness. Of course, a very effective all-rounder with the bat. We'll see him later on. Paris Kadka's probably going to hold the key to this Nepal chase. The man who, just like Kevin O'Brien, made a T20 international century very recently. Coming in the Tri-Series in Singapore and Zimbabwe. I've got the Irish team manager to my right, Andrew Leonard, here, bringing you these pictures with Cricket Clubs and Cricket Oman. But Chris Siddle's in the commentary box with me. It's a warm one here in Muscat. How much are you looking forward to the qualifier, Chris, given you missed out on the Cricket World Cup qualifier last year? How important is it to seal qualification, get back to the global stage?
Yeah, obviously it's hugely important. It's a very different type of tournament. It feels a lot quicker, a lot fast-paced. Much better that 6 teams go through from our perspective. I think it's great when you get a World Cup with more teams, a bit more variety. It can really make it more exciting, and especially in 2020 where we've seen even by Nepal not making it to the qualifiers, the competitiveness of teams is incredible.
Yeah, how surprised are you aside of Nepal's ability, talent, and I suppose fanaticism as well, that they couldn't even qualify from the Asia regional qualifiers? Singapore were the side that got through.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show how much teams are coming on. A lot of the sort of what we would have called lower level associate teams, how quickly they're able to develop in 2020. And one of the key things I mentioned is the fielding, that everyone seems to have picked up on the field, and maybe the way that Ireland did kind of 15 years ago, that they recognise they can all be outstanding fielding teams, and then in 2020 you need 1 or 2 strong performances and you can actually roll someone over as a bit of a surprise. And we know Singapore have got 2 or 3 players that are capable of that, and that's clearly what happened in the Asia qualifiers.
And speaking of surprises, were you disappointed with the defeat to the hosts here, Oman, who ran out convincing winners really earlier in the week?
Yeah, I think obviously we're disappointed whenever we lose a game, but the conditions are very tough for us, and I think they maybe got away from us a little bit with the ball. And then once we started falling behind and losing wickets, we don't think we were ever really behind the rate, but the way the wickets were falling, we realistically didn't give ourselves a chance to make it the whole way and bat the 20 overs and make the total.
I see another change in bowling. Lalit Singh Rajbanshi will come in for his final over of his allocated 4. Another change of ends for him as well. You can see Sterling looking for the slog sweep but deciding against it. Talk me through that over where he played, I think it was 6 consecutive sweep shots to Sandeep Lamachani.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of almost trying to call each other's bluff, that Sandeep had the field set, tempting him into the sweep, and he was throwing the ball outside off stump and giving him that opportunity, kind of hoping for an edge or an LBW.
Sterling looks to go inside out over extra cover. Not exactly where he intended, but he'll end up with a single. He moves to 48, just too shy of another T20 international half-century. Bit of deja vu here for Irish fans with the way Sterling and Balbirnie going about their work, reminiscent of earlier in the summer in the ODI format.
It is, yeah, and then even reminiscent of kind of being back here in February, these two and Kevin. The reason we have so much success is when... Oh, spoke too soon.
Just as we talk about that, Chris Siddle has unfortunately put the mockers on Andy Balbirnie. It was slower through the air from Rajbanshi. It was beautifully bowled. Tempted Balbirnie down the track, and because he couldn't quite get to the pitch of the ball, as soon as it turned past his bat, it was always going to be an easy stump in for Binod Bandari. We'll bring you the replay here. I can't explain just how slow that delivery was. Really well held back by Rajbanshi. Got it to drift and dip, and the turn ended up being crucial and affected the delivery, or affected the wicket. So outstanding stuff from him. The second wicket falls for Ireland. That partnership was worth 88, and I'm afraid, Chris Siddle, that one's going to be falling squarely in your head later on.
Yeah, hopefully none of the guys are listening in to the commentary here. It is something we've talked about, and I think it's painfully obvious in most 2020 and ODI cricket that if one of your top 4 can get a big score and bat for a long time, you're in with a chance. If 2 of them can do it, then you're in a very, very good place to win the game. And that's what we're really trying to focus on, is making sure that at least one of those, our top 3 or 4 guys, is getting a score and batting for a long time.
Balbirnie falls for 38 from 29 deliveries. 28 deliveries, apologies. 5 fours and solitary 6. So good knock from him. He'll be replaced by Harry Tector. Come into the crease. Number 4. Harry Tector's had a really sensational start to his international career.
Yeah, it's been fantastic for him. I think something that was really important was the Wolves tour in Sri Lanka in January, and then he was part of our tour both here and in India to play Afghanistan. And he, as much as he didn't get a game, I think that experience really did him very well. He went back in the summer, performed well, and got into the team, and it's been fantastic ever since he got his debut.
Tector comes into first slip, and Tector showing that his levels of confidence are high because he uses his feet immediately, powers that one down the ground for a single. Not afraid of the fact that Balbirnie had just got out in the very same way. Showing off a few of his golf skills that the boys have been on the courses here once in Oman already.
Yeah, they've got a little competition going for this month. The Northern Knights are playing Leinster Lightning in the golf, so they'll probably get 3 or 4 rounds in during this month. And
Bit of a Ryder Cup format, is it?
it is, yeah. They played an interesting one yesterday where the Knights played together and the Lightning played together, and they kind of faced off each other blind without knowing each other's scores until they got to the 18th green. So it was
Were they honest enough for the scores, though? That's
Well,
the big question.
I hope so.
Slower again from British Banshee. Really brave bowling from the youngster. Big appeal. And the umpire is going to go to the third umpire. So this is part of the technology that we've seen installed here. An outstanding piece of fielding. Nepal think they have their man, Harry Tector, who was backing up the non-striker's end. We're not going to be able to bring you those pictures, so we're just going to have to wait for the decision from the third umpire. But we have 4 fixed cameras installed here at the Oman Cricket Turf 1 ground here at the Oman Cricket Academy.
Yeah, it's very difficult to tell from this angle, but obviously the way the ball hit Barry after it hit the stumps, hit Harry after it hit the stumps means it was at least very close to him being in.
And you can see the 2 umpires, the 2 standing umpires, Rahul Asher and Vinod Babu, have come together because they are waiting for Hari Krishna in the third umpire's box to make his decision. This is the first time this technology has been used in non-fully televised T20 international, so really good innovation from the Oman Cricket Board here. Harry Tector's going to have his heart in his mouth at the moment. He's gone. Outstanding piece of fielding. You can often tell from the reaction from the fielders, and Harry Tector is going to have to go for just one from one delivery. It was a one-handed pickup and a direct hit from extra cover. Sterling never looked for the single, but because Tector was backing up so far, he ends up losing his wicket.
Yeah, once again, just that fielding, outstanding bit of work that's bought them a wicket.
Yeah, it was Depender Singh Irie who affected the direct hit. 2 overs before, he had got a full-length dive in to his right and saved the boundary 4. He's an outstanding fielder, low centre of gravity, quick to the ball, one-handed pickup, run down the stumps, and the light for Nepal because 1 wicket has brought another for them. As soon as they broke that partnership with Sterling and Balbirnie, followed up with a run-out. So Gary Wilson into the crease now at number 5. Cut away by Paul Sterling, fielded by Sandeep Lamachani. So a really good over from Lalit Singh Rajbanshi. He's going to finish with 1 for 23 from his 4 overs. The left arm spinner who burst onto the scene in the Everest Premier League 2018. I was out in Kathmandu. I called him a star of the future. He's really showing he's got what it takes for the top level as well. After 12 overs, Ireland 96 for 3. Chris Siddle, the Irish manager, to my right, not looking quite as happy right now.
No, it's always difficult when you lose a couple of quick wickets, and something that's really key is making sure you don't have 2 new batsmen at the crease, which it's still positive that we've still got Paul Sterling there. He's well set and 48 not out, and hopefully Gary can help tick things along the other end while Paul keeps moving on.
Just checking that we have all our audio correct. I think the excitement of the 2 wickets has maybe put a bit of those down. But we'll just get that check. Sampal Kami's going to continue from the Al Amarat end. 12 overs gone, Ireland. 96 for 3, having won the toss this morning, batting first. The Irish captain into the crease at number 5.
Yeah, it's a great start for Ireland, and just those 2 wickets just hopefully don't peg things back too much. But Nepal definitely look like they've got a bit more buzz in the field. Certainly a lot more noise coming up from the inner ring there.
Short ball. Kami, good pace. He's operated that. Put away by Gary Wilson. Just going to be a single. Tell us a little bit about the plans coming up, Chris. You fly into Abu Dhabi on Friday?
Yeah, so we have a day off here tomorrow while the other 4 teams play the final game, and then we fly in Abu Dhabi on Friday morning. We've got 2 days of where we do all our anti-doping work, our anti-corruption, and do all the kind of pre-series stuff and media commitments that you would normally have before we have a couple of warm-up games.
So that's going to be 50 for Paul Sterling. Brought up with a boundary into the leg side. A glorious shot from him. And it's been an outstanding knock from Sterling. Comes from 38 deliveries. And after a calf injury that held up Sterling's progress a little, and he missed the full triangular series in Dublin, he's back with a bang. 52 coming off 38 deliveries, 6 4s and 2 6s. How crucial is Paul Sterling to this Irish side, Chris?
Oh, well, it's like I said, really the whole top 3 are crucial to us in that if one of them's getting runs, then we're going to be in a very good place. And Kevin did it for us the other day, and Paul looks like he's doing it today for us. If he kicks on here and gets 80, 90 or hopefully even 100, then we're going to be in an outstanding position to win this game.
Yeah, apologies for those audio issues. Apparently, Chris Siddle you could hear fine, but you could only hear me in the background. We are back now. And Kami's got the short ball out. Paul Sterling ducks underneath. It's a glorious setting here in about 15 minutes outside of Muscat. Have the squad enjoyed their time here, no man?
Yeah, it's a great place to be. I think the ground's fantastic. You can see the mountains all around. It's maybe a little bit warmer here than it is in downtown Muscat because it's away from the sea. But it's a real nice place. It's real friendly. It's kind of similar feel to Dubai, but a little smaller, a little less rushed, a little quieter. So they've still got the big malls you can walk around and air conditioning and kind of have some nice food. And some of the guys have enjoyed the golf and a bit of something for everyone here, which is great.
Sterling flicks that one into the leg side, and fortune again. It seems like he's toyed with Avanesh Bahar all day, but good fielding in the deep. Cuts off the boundary. Gary Wilson really quick between the wickets. We'll get back for 3. Good energy from Sterling. So he will keep the strike at the end of that 13th over. Ireland bringing the 100 up in that over. 104 for 3. Getting your messages all from around the world. Plenty of people listening back in Dublin. Getting messages coming in from Kathmandu, from Pokhara, all over Nepal, watching in your thousands right across the world. So you're very welcome, and thank you for joining us here. Andrew Leonard bringing you these pictures with cricket clubs and over Nepal cricket, and we're going to have watching Chris Siddle with us for one more over, the Irish team manager, as his side prepare and build up for the T20 World Cup qualifiers in the UAE that starts next week. And a lot of those games are going to be televised. That must be something that the team are looking forward to as well.
Yeah, it's always great. Obviously, everyone's got a lot of family and a lot of friends back home that want to watch the games. So sometimes it can be frustrating if we're playing away somewhere. There's no way of watching them.
The team are looking forward to as well.
It's great that I think 4 out of our 6 games in the group are going to be televised. I think Sky Sports are picking them up in the UK and Ireland. And then hopefully semi-final and final will also be in there, and we'll be able to watch that as well.
Sandeep Lamachani back into the attack now. He's already taken 1 wicket today, and he could well have had a second. Avinash Bahara dropping Paul Sterling in Lamachani's second over. Lamachani will be looking to get the scalp of the Irish opener. Shorter delivery, punched down the ground into the leg side, and you can hear Chris Siddle laughing in the background. All the messages coming in because of those audio issues. Glad to know that everyone's listening back home in Ireland. Yeah,
it's a little worrying to see some of the messages that I should maybe give up the mic that's working and give it to you, but no, it's always great to know that there's people back home have the chance to watch, and we know we have a lot of support, and it's great to have that support. And
yeah, people watching in there now, tens of thousands from right around the world. The fanaticism we see, particularly for the Nepal side, is possibly second to none really in world cricket. And they love Sandeep Lamachani bowling his leg spin, and he's just finding some turn now as well. Wilson was looking for the paddle sweep and ended up leaving it really through to the keeper. Good captaincy from Paris Kadka, slip in place as well himself.
Yeah, I just think that got a little bit of grip and bounce, and probably a wise move to just make sure he didn't get anything on it with the slip in place there. I think without the slip, he maybe would have tried to angle it down that side rather than pull out of the shot completely.
Really good bowling this from Lamachani, just clipped into the leg side for a single. Chris, can I ask you a little bit about your schedule for the T20 World Cup qualifiers? As you said, you will be taking on the hosts of the UAE, but you'll also be coming up against Oman, who beat you here. But you'll start off with the challenge of Hong Kong, who have a man you'll know pretty well in their head coach, Trent Johnson.
Yeah, I think that the key is that Trent will know us very well as well, and as much as we got the better of them here, I know they've had a few changes in their squad, and since Trent's came in, and they're going to be working very hard to make sure they hit the ground running there. Just swept away by Paul Sterling, just be 1 out to the deep. But yeah, Trent's going to give us a real challenge in that first game, and then we move on to the UAE, which we know, especially there in a day-night match, is going to be very tough, and probably Oman straight after that. You could argue that the first 3 games are going to be our 3 toughest games in that group, and then hopefully we're in a great position from there, and we're going to have, if we do win those first 3 games, everyone else is going to be looking to try and knock us off that top spot.
Cut away by Wilson. It's a shot he likes, but there's protection in the deep. Deep backward point, that's Arif Sheikh. And just before we let you go, Chris, you'll know a little bit about Canada, but perhaps some unknown quantities in the likes of Jersey and Nigeria to finish the group then?
Yeah, I think Jersey's one we probably know quite a fair bit about. They're obviously very close to us. We have under-19s have played there a lot, and it would be nice. We do know quite a bit about them. Nigeria probably a little more of an unknown. There weren't someone who qualified directly. It's obviously Zimbabwe being left out of the tournament and them coming in quite late. We've got some videos and some knowledge, but they're probably the one team that we know least about out of the 6 in our group.
Here are the thoughts of Chris Siddle, the Irish manager. We thank you for your time, Chris, and I don't know, we might hear from you later in the week as well. But we wish Chris and his side all the best going across to the UAE for the T20 World Cup qualifiers. And as we bid Chris Siddle farewell, I'll welcome back Jamil Zaidi. And Jamil, this Irish innings that was flying just moments ago, those 2 wickets have really stifled their momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. Some excellent fielding by the Nepal fielders and very accurate bowling from their bowlers kept the momentum which was started by Paul Sterling and Belprani. has been come up to a bit halt a bit. Now they're looking for the singles.
Yeah, Avinash Bahar has changed ends. He's coming in now from the Al Amarad end. And that piece of fielding you were talking about, Dipender Singh Airi swept in with one hand, the direct hit, and wasn't it brilliant to see the technology used to correctly give the run out of Harry Tector out?
Oman first time is using this technique at our levels, because in the entire Gulf, other than Oman, nobody is using those techniques like DRS. Gradually, we are trying to have the other LBW and quad-band decisions as well. So I've been in Ireland for more than 2 months in 2015, being the one national team, and for the T20 qualifiers.
Slightly different weather there, of course. You experienced in Ireland and Scotland, Jamil. But that was the famous entrance of Oman cricket really to the world when they qualified for the first time for the World T20.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's the historic and memorable win for Oman. At Malahide, we beat Namibia in the last ball of the over and then qualified for the World T20 in India.
Yeah, and I remember those scenes of celebration as Oman really came into the event as dark horses, a bit of an unknown quantity. I think you were ranked 28th or 29th in the world, but no one's going to be surprised if Oman go and qualify next week now or in the coming weeks in the UAE. They'll be one of the favourites going into a group that includes Ireland and the UAE. Wilson looking for the quick single. And because of the misfield from Sampal Kami, they'll get back for two. He was looking for the one-handed pickup. A direct hit would have been close. Wilson had to get the dive out. The end result will be 2 runs.
That was some historic moments for us, Oman, after qualifying the World T20. And in T20 also we made an history by beating Ireland that time. That was also a very, very, you cannot see once in a life you got those chances. And we have that one in Ireland. We never thought that, but the way we started, we really come up with win. And that was a fantastic win at Ireland in India also.
This is really good tight stuff from the Nepal bowlers through the middle here. Ireland were 87 for 1 after 10, but the last 4 overs has brought just 25 runs. Last 4.5 overs and 2 wickets. And the momentum is really starting to disappear out of this Irish innings. Nepal, arguably the happier of the two sides right now, you'd have to think. And Avinash Bahar is so well known for his death bowling. Trying to find those Yorkers. There's a huge appeal, and it's given. Wilson was looking for the paddle sweep shot, but he's been trapped right in front. He slams his pad in frustration. But Avinash Bahar, just as I was saying it, he's so well known for finding the block hole. And he's found the block hole perfectly. And the umpire deciding that was going to go on and hit the stumps. Just bringing you the replay here, and you can see why. He struck right in front of middle. Good decision, and Wilson pays the price for playing across the line.
This is what I said. I mean, the pressure that has been put on by Nepal so far in the last couple of overs really now giving them good results. Because runs are not coming the way it came when Paul and Balbrini was there. So ultimately, they have to keep up the run rate up. At one stage, it was 8.5. Now it has come down to 7 point something.
Yeah, the run rate really starting to stagnate for Ireland. It's dropped to 7.5 and over. That partnership between Balbirnie and Sterling was worth 88 runs, and it came in less than 10 overs. So it was really good batting from that pair. But Nepal coming back into this match now, and you can maybe 88 runs, and it came in just 5 overs left after this one, that they're on top. Certainly the happier of the two coaches at the moment is going to be Umwesh Patwell, the head coach of Nepal. Graham Ford, Ireland's head coach, will be disappointed with what's happened. But with Paul Sterling still there and Mark Adair to the crease now, 2 big hitters in for Ireland.
I think Paul has got the key in his hand now. As long as he's there on the wicket, I hope that runs will be coming continuously, because the other batsmen had to take little time to, get them off on the wicket right now. Paul has the key in his hand,
That is what Avinash Bahar does with such regularity. It's staggering. He finds the block hole and beats Mark Adair for his first delivery. So a dot ball to finish. A really good over for Nepal. Just 4 runs coming from it. And with 5 overs left in the match, in the first innings in fact, Ireland 112 for 4. Let's take a look at the batting card. Just exactly what we were talking about, Jamil. Outside of Andy Balbirnie's 38 off 28 and Paul Sterling, who's still there, 58 off 45. The rest of the batsmen haven't been able to get going.
As I said you that Paul has to be there till the end of 20th over. That will make an healthy, run score for Ireland because he is the one who is now seeing the ball well, playing his shots. But, it was subdued in between because some excellent bowling from Nepal and excellent fielding, though there are 2 top catches as well. But still, I think Ireland can go what I expect about 170, 170, 180 runs that I am looking for the way things are going. That will be a good total for them to defend.
Yeah, and they're going to have to go some to get up to that sort of position. But Paris Kadka has really changed his bowlers well. And he's going to bring Karen KC back into the attack. He starts with a short ball, pulled into the deep. Such an expert leader, Paris Kadka. He's marshalling his troops brilliantly here.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. From 8.5, the rain rate came down to 7.4 and got some couple of wickets in between. In fact, so far, Nepal has not chased a big target. They chased 125 and 133. So I think any target about 160, 170 will be a very, very good defending total for Ireland.
Comes off the inside edge, going to be half a chance, a direct hit, big appeal, and I think we're going to see another one being referred up to the third umpire. We are indeed. So this brilliant technology that Oman Cricket have installed here, but Mark Adair's given up the ghost. He thinks he's out. He's already walking off, but we're going to have to wait for the third umpire. That's Hari Krishna in the box, who will get the footage from the side angles. We'll bring you our own replay here. We won't be able to show you the side replay, but it came off the inside edge of Mark Adair onto the thigh pad. I just wonder, was it Dipendra Singh Airi yet again? In fact, no, it wasn't. It was Karen KC who sprinted around, and from that evidence, to me, it looks like Mark Adair is going to have to go. The second run out of the innings, brilliant from Nepal.
Of course, as I told you, they really come up from the last couple of 5-6 overs, not letting the batsmen to go for the runs and some excellent fielding. Earlier, there was a brilliant run out of Balbrini, and now once again, another brilliant wicket for them. Really put pressure on Ireland.
Yeah, and Mark Adair just had to hold, as you could see on your pictures, on the edge of the rope. He was certain he was out. You often know as a batsman whether you're caught short or not. But this remarkable resurgence from Nepal continues because Ireland are collapsing in a heap here, really. Moments ago, Ireland were 95 for 1. And they've lost 4 wickets for just 18 runs. Absolutely outstanding stuff. As Barry McCarthy runs on, a fresh set of gloves to Paul Stirling. And the whole time, Paul Stirling has just been sitting and watching from the far end as the carnage has played out. So Mark Adair's stay at the crease. Another short one. Gareth Delaney now to the wicket. He's going to come in at number 7. But Nepal captain Paris Kadka, he's putting on an absolute masterclass here of captaincy. He's rotated his bowlers brilliantly. And this less fancied Nepal side, the only side here who aren't going to be at the T20 World Cup qualifier. They're on top. Stirling heaves that one into the deep. Could this be another wicket? It will be. Stirling's going to fall for 59. Karen KC is absolutely delighted, and the Nepalese fans who have come in for this early start here on a Monday, they follow their side all around the world, are delighted. Yet another wicket. Ireland have now lost 4 wickets for 18 runs, 5 wickets for 18 runs. It was a short ball from Karen KC, heaved into the leg side, but he could only pick out the fielder who's out at Cow Corner, who takes a good catch. Stirling's gone for 59. Nepal right on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you one thing, Andrew, that during the match against Oman, Ireland started brilliantly in the first couple of overs. Kevin and Balbrini, they did a Paul Stirling. And after scoring about 9 runs an over, in the next 4-5 overs, they lost about 5-6 wickets. Today it has come. It's an unfamiliar collapse, looks like to be.
Just goes to show as well, pressure, T20 cricket and momentum. So Paul Stirling falls for 59 off 47 deliveries, 6 4s and 2 6s. And what does that mean for this points table? We're just going to give you a quick look at that, because remember, the winner this morning will go to the top of the table. Perhaps only for a short period, Oman will play the Netherlands this afternoon. They'll be looking to get back on top of the table themselves. But if Nepal can win here, they will move to 6 points. And they'll make it a perfect 3 from 3 this week. And who would have predicted that? They're the only one of the 5 sides here not at the T20 World Cup qualifier. But the underdogs coming into this week, showing why they're a side to be feared, even against the test nation that is Ireland. Simi Singh, the new man to the crease, he's at number 8 for Ireland. Very fine batsman as well. Perhaps hasn't got the weight of runs that he would have liked for Ireland. But Karen KC finding his first wicket with the ball to go alongside that run out. Those 2 wickets falling off back-to-back deliveries. Nepal right on top. Are they going to win this game?
Well, you know, in cricket, you cannot say anything to the last ball being bowled. There's still 4.2 hours to go, and if I believe if they scored about 150, or that will be a very fighting total for them to defend. They have got a very good lively pace attack with Rankin there and some other players. So I hope that 150 is a very, very good title to defend.
And of course, Nepal probably better known for their bowling stars as opposed to their batsmen, with the exception of Paris Kadka, of course. But they're going to have to lean upon the likes of Dipendra Singh Airi, Ishan Pandey as well coming into the side today. Remember, Rohit Paudel and Pawan Saraf both out of the team. This youthful Nepal lineup. Lots of men born in the 2000s and our date of births in front of us here. But they'll fancy that chase of around 140, 150. And Ireland still have a way to go to get up to 140 or 150. Gareth Delaney, he's on none. Simi Singh on 1. Delaney will get off the mark with a nice shot through the offside. He should get back for 2. Will do. Good backing up as well. Nepal have been really a buzz in the field. 2 wickets in that over. 4 runs coming from it. After 16, Ireland remarkably, they're 116 for 6.
I think both Mark and Delaney should be there till the end of the 20th over, because the run rate has come down to 7.2 from almost 9 the couple of overs. And Ireland is the most star-studded team in this pentangular tournament. As we all said, this is a very, good chance, a prelude to the qualifier in Dubai. Every team has got equal chance in getting maximum practice and acclimatize themselves to the conditions prevailing in this part of the world. Humid and hot.
Yeah, it is humid and hot, and that's the Irish batting card on your screen there. Outside of Paul Sterling's 59 and Andrew Balbirnie's 38. A series of low scores from the rest of the batsmen. Just 5 for Kevin O'Brien, the Centurion against Hong Kong. 1 for Tector, 6 for Wilson, and second ball duck. That brilliant run out from Karen KC. Avinash Bahar is going to continue with his death bowling. He just finds that block hole with reckless abandon, doesn't he?
Lovely bowling, using his variations, blocking and putting into the Yorkers. It's really giving them a beautiful chance to contain Ireland, which at one stage we are expecting about 160, 170 when Paul was batting and Balbrini was batting. But now they really stopped all the run chase that has been coming up from both those two and got at most 6 wickets just in the span of 24, 25 runs.
Finds the block hole again, but Singh can work it down to Sandeep Jora, who's down at long on. Just going to be a single. Yeah, let's take a look at the bowling options that Nepal have left in this innings. Paris Kadka, just the 1 over for him, so we'll likely see Sandeep Lamachani at some point. We've Sampal Kami and Karen KC as well, but all 5 of the frontline bowlers for Nepal doing a really good job. And that final over from Lalit Rajbanshi was such a crucial one. So brave, the youngster, to toss it up and tempt Andy Balbirnie down the crease, and that stumping has proved a bit of a turning point in the innings. Delaney hammers that straight to Paris Kadka in the covers. You've been impressed with Nepal throughout the week?
Well, I think the way they're batting and they're fielding, as I mentioned earlier, they're not chasing big targets, but their fielding and determination to come through is absolutely fantastic. And the match they won against Netherlands was really a thriller. Difficult for any batsman to hit 17 runs and over. And this guy, Karan, has done that one.
Looks for the block hole again, but can only find a full toss. But Nepal won't mind that because Gareth Delaney has picked out the deep cover fielder. Just going to be another single. Ireland operating in singles at the moment. They can't find the rope. I'll give you one remarkable stat. Outside of a solitary boundary from Kevin O'Brien, nobody in this Irish innings, apart from Paul Sterling and Andy Balbirnie, have found the rope yet. So it gives you an idea of the struggles the Irish batsmen have had against this varied Nepal attack. Brilliant bowling from Avanesh Bahara. Finds the block hole again. Simi Singh can't get bat on that.
Absolutely, really, Nepal is right on top at the moment. Just subdued the Ireland batsmen. The free scoring they were having a couple of overs before. 95 for 1 and then 118 for 6. Same thing happened to them against Oman as well.
Just going to be a single. Avanesh Bahara finds the block hole again. Singh hammers it down the ground. It wasn't a dropped chance because it was on the volley, the half volley back to Bahara. But a brilliant over. Just 3 runs coming from it. And with 3 overs left, this Ireland innings is going nowhere in a hurry. It's 119 for 6 now. Remember, after 11 overs, they were 95 for 2. But the last 6 overs or so have brought just 24 runs and 5 wickets. And this is dreamland for Nepal and their fans, watching from all around the world in their thousands, seeing huge numbers tune into the stream here. And Nepal will be thinking that they can take the win and set up a winner-takes-all showdown against the hosts Oman tomorrow.
Absolutely. Actually, you know, the Nepal, they didn't go for the qualifier, but team like Nepal, they dented the hope of some other teams who are vying for the qualifier in Dubai. So it is really very, very critical for other teams to play on. Lovely bowling now, right down.
Yeah, that's Lamachani back into the attack. Take a look at the replay of that. Beautifully bowled by the leg spinner. We can see why he's such a asset in franchise cricket right around the world. Singh looked outside the leg stump, but it beat him all ends up. Sharp turn from Lamachani. Cut away this time by Singh again, looking to give himself room outside the leg stump, but only for a single. And the reason Nepal aren't going to that T20 World Cup qualifier is because they couldn't get past a group of Singapore, Qatar, Kuwait and Malaysia. They ended up winning 2 matches and losing 2. They lost to both Qatar and Singapore, so we won't be seeing them at the qualifier. Delaney looks to heave that one into the leg side. All he can do is find an outside edge. Lamachani proving a little bit too good for the Irish batsman here.
Yeah, of course. As I told you, he's one of the world class like a spinner. And I'm really wondering, I mean, exactly the similar scenarios against Oman, Ireland. They started very well, and I think 34, 35 for 1, and then 130 all out. And today, almost the identical things are happening. They were 95 for 1, and then 127 for 8 now. 6 all out.
Again, just a single. Ireland can't find any late momentum, and the thing that's impressed me so much is just how well Paris Kadka's rotated his bowlers. And he's managed to pull off a tactical masterclass here to arrest any of the momentum Ireland had in this innings and put his side on top. Slower through the air, hit into the offside. What a catch. That's absolutely outstanding. Paris Kadka gets a huge cheer from the Nepalese crowd behind him. He dives full length to his right. It's yet another wicket for Sandeep Lamachani. One of the catches of the tournament this is. Absolutely outstanding from Paris Kadka. Bring you the replays here on your screen. It was slower through the air from Lamachani. Tossed up outside the off stump. Delaney looked to hammer it away. Paris Kadka dove full length to his right, and didn't he get a big cheer from the big crowd here?
He is a very shrewd captain, Andrew, I'll tell you one thing, and he leads the team in front, you know. He's a very, very good batsman also. Whenever his team requires his batting, he's there. And he's an occasional bowler as well. Always tried to come to break the partnerships. But today, unfortunately, he was very good beaten by Paul and others.
Yeah, and with that wicket, Lamachani moves back top of the 2019 table of T20 international wicket takers, going back above Karen KC, having a bit of a tussle with his Nepal teammate there. 26 wickets this year at an economy of 6.5 and a remarkable average of 13.8. You can see why he's such a man in demand all the way around the world. He could even have had a third wicket today had Avanesh Bahara been able to hang on at short fine leg. He dropped Paul Sterling earlier in the day, and with just one ball left in the 18th over, Stuart Thompson comes to the crease. He's in at number 9 for Ireland. This Irish collapse continues. Beautifully bowled, squares up the googly from Lamachani. He can just about get some bat down on that. What a spell from the youngster, the superstar that is Sandeep Lamachani. Remarkably still just 19 years of age. And he's going to finish with 2 for 21. Ireland continue to struggle. 123 for 7 now.
Absolute fantastic bowling from this young chap that is famous for, he's divorced, wanted played in all T20 tournaments all around the world. And he's keeping that position himself, being one of the best leg spinners in the world, along with Rashid Khan, as I said, Afghanistan, and Shadab Khan of Pakistan. They are very young guys and really they're long, long career ahead.
Yeah, we'll just see if we can get a quick look at the bowling figures as well. So that confirms Sandeep Lamachani's 2 for 21. We're going to see Avanesh Bahara bowl the penultimate over of the match now. He'll close out his 4-over spell, and then Paras Kadka will decide whether to go to Sampal Kami or Karen Casey. So Bahara finds the block hole again, and Thompson can't get this away. Ireland have not hit a boundary for nearly 8 overs now, over 7 overs of the match, which in a T20 international and what looks like a good batting wicket to me is a real surprise.
Yeah, as I told you, last 3 days the wicket played perfectly well. And everybody was getting equal chance, batting, batsmen, all. But again, I think Ireland had to look back to their batting conditions, because in the beginning they did a fantastic job. In the middle, they had to get someone who carry on the winnings till the 20th over.
That just hasn't happened. Nobody's been able to find the boundary outside of Balbirnie and Paul Sterling. Thompson hammered that one down the ground, but easily cut off by Karen KC for a single. Just 10 deliveries remain. We were talking about 150. Surely Ireland might be lucky to get to 140 at this rate. 10 deliveries left, 124 for 7. Slower ball hit into the sky, right down towards Karen KC, who's at long on. And he takes a quite sensational catch, keeps his feet inside the rope. Absolutely outstanding from Nepal. Yet another wicket. For a moment it looked like it was going to soar for 6 from Simi Singh, but Karen KC judged that perfectly, just inches inside the rope at long on, right in front of our commentary position. It was a slower ball from Avanesh Bahara. You can see he just checked his foot in front of the rope to make sure he was inside. Plucked it like an apple falling from a tree. Outstanding from Nepal.
You see the confidence of Karen. I mean, he just stood on his ground, looking top of the ball, and just kept himself inside inches of the boundary and took a great catch. As I mentioned earlier, this Nepal team is very sharp in the fielding side. They're bowling, but I think they do have some batting problems, but they just come up that their batting problems by fielding brilliantly and bowling nice.
It's been all Nepal for the last 30 minutes or so. If you're just joining us, Ireland were 95 for 1 after 11 overs and right on top. And we've seen a collapse of rather epic proportions. But Karen KC has held on to an absolute cracker there at long on. Brings George Dockrell to the crease. He's not on strike. Stuart Thompson, as the batsman had crossed, thuds into his pad for a leg by. There is batting right the way down this Irish lineup, but just nobody's been able to get going, really, have they?
Yeah, of course. As I told you, the pressure was built on the Ireland batsmen due to some excellent fielding and superb bowling by Nepal. It kept the pressure on the Irish batsmen, and they fell in that trap.
Absolutely outstanding again from Avanesh Pahara, but he can't field it off his own bowling. He does find the block hole yet again, but Nepal continue their sharp work in the field. Although Karen Casey getting a bit of a scolding from the umpire for throwing that one in on the bounce and scuffing the ball up. But just a single for Dockrell. No one's been able to find the rope for Ireland. You'd have to think that Nepal are going to be very confident of making it 3 wins from their 3 matches so far. Andrew Leonard here with Jamil Zaidi, bringing these pictures from the beautiful Oman Cricket Academy here in Muscat, just outside Muscat in Al Amirat. Thompson heaves that one into the leg side. Just going to be a single again. Closes out yet another outstanding over. 19 overs gone. Ireland 127 for 8.
Well, it is all credit goes to the Nepal fielders and bowlers to keep the Irish batsmen in check. And it is really very, very unfortunate the way they started 95 for 1. You were expecting a total of about 160 to 170. And then suddenly the Nepal bowlers done a great job and come back into the game. Now they're struggling at 127 for 8. Their 20th over is underway right.
And Paris Kadka is going to go with Karen KC. So Sampal Kami will have an over to spare because of that solitary over that Paris Kadka bowled. I'll show you the bowling figures again here. 5 of the 6 bowlers used for Nepal doing an outstanding job. Just the solitary over for Paris Kadka. Avanesh Pahara finishes with 2 for 22 from his 4 overs. Sampal Kami proving a little expensive but bowling with good pace. So Karen KC will close the innings out, the final over of the first innings. Thompson heaves that one into the leg side. We're going to have a boundary finally for Ireland. Huge cheers from the bench on the sideline. It's been a nervous 7 or 8 overs for them. But Karen KC dropped that one short. Thompson picked up the length quickly and dispatched it over the rope on the leg side.
Well, this is the first 6 in, I think, last 6-7 overs from Ireland. At least give the cross 130 figure. And last over is in progress. Karen, a very good medium pacer, right arm over the wicket. Nicely played out towards the deep point, and they go for quick 2.
Yeah, really good running from Stuart Thompson. Will get him back for 2. It's the first boundary since the 13th over, remarkably. As soon as Paul Sterling fell, the innings has really struggled for any momentum. But that 6 from Thompson will just give a little G up to the Irish fans watching here. Hopeful of maybe getting up above that 140 mark. Could be competitive. Very similar total that Nepal had to chase against Netherlands, and they only did it by the skin of their teeth. So we could have a really good T20 international on our hands here.
I think 140 definitely good total to defend as far as the Irish bowling is concerned. Dockrell is a very good spinner. I've seen him bowling very well. They do have one more spinner. So if they bowl well, they field well, I hope that they will be among the winners.
That's another 6 from Stuart Thompson. He's enjoying the short stuff from Karen KC. Drops it short again, this time around the wicket. Hammers it over long on. Just for a moment, long on thought he was in action. But it's gone over his head, and Thompson hits the second 6 of his innings. Just clearing that front leg and powerfully hitting it down the ground. Crucial late runs coming in the final over. Nepal just not getting out of their innings here.
To me, these are the bonus runs that even score 2 6s. Really, it's good. And I'll come back to at least a respectable total. Around 150, what we were expecting, me and Andrew, you both. So Cullen is going to bowl the last over.
Yeah, just 3 deliveries remain now. 2 sixes off the first 2 balls. KC will come around, changes action to come over the wicket. In fact, he finds the block hole. Thompson looking for the paddle. Not able to get any bet on that. Ireland all of a sudden still thinking about that 150 mark that they would have hoped for earlier in the day. Run rate back over 7 and over for Ireland for the first time in a little while. That one flies off the outside edge. Third man is outside the circle, who makes a really good stop. It's Avanesh Bahara, who's had a difficult day. Really good running as well from Stuart Thompson. He'll sprint back for 2, so he'll have the strike for the final ball of the over.
Fantastic batting. This is what we are looking for from the last 6-7 overs, but finally it came in the last over. And I tell many answered that it will be the bonus runs that we have right now by these 2. And I hope that with this 147, 188 figure, Ireland definitely will come up with some brilliant fielding and bowling as they are famous for.
It was really good work down at third man from Avanesh Bahar. He's had a tough day in the field, dropped 2 chances. Outside of that, it's been flawless from every single one of the Nepal fielders. Been something that Umesh Patwell has put a real focus on since he's come into his post as the head coach for Nepal. Final ball of the innings. Hit into the offside by Thompson. They're going to push for 2. Cleanly picked up. Dockrell very quick between the wickets, and they will get back for 2. So a really good cameo from Stuart Thompson. He's going to finish with 21 not out off 11 deliveries. Just given a little bit of a late surge to an Irish innings that fell away drastically after a partnership between Andrew Balbirnie and Paul Sterling. That partnership was worth 88 and held the innings together. You can see the Nepal side will be the happier of the 2 going off. George Dockrell and Stuart Thompson have already sprinted off. They'll have bowling to do later on. But it was really a shuddering halt to that Irish innings. They had all the momentum in the world. They looked on course. When we had Chris Siddle on commentary, we were talking about maybe 180 or 190. But they stuttered, they lost all momentum, and what they've ended up with is 145. Nepal are going to need 146 to win. Let's take a look at the batting card. Paul Sterling and Andy Balbirnie, the standouts really.
They were outstanding. Paul especially played his class of innings as he's famous for. All we are expecting Kevin, who did a magnificent century the other day, just 124 in 62 balls, 7 sixes, 12 boundaries. He was at his best in the last match. But today, the early wicket of Kevin really gave a lot of disadvantage to Ireland batting. Paul kept the things going on with Balbirnie, but later on, Nepal spinners did a remarkable job of keeping the run rate in check and some smart fielding by their fielders.
Yeah, outstanding fielding from both Dipendra Singh Airi and Karen Casey affecting those 2 runouts, but some really good catches as well. Paris Kadka taking a 2-handed catch full length to his right, and Avanesh Bahara getting a wicket with Karen Casey taking a good catch at long on as well. Let's take a look at the bowling figures before we let you go for the break. And strong stuff from all, well, 5 of the 6 bowlers used by Nepal, really just that solitary over for Paris Kadka. Avanesh Bahara 2 for 22, Sandeep Lamachani possibly the standout 2 for 21, but the crucial over and perhaps the crucial wicket of the innings went to Lalit Rajbanshi. His left arm spin tempted Andy Balbirnie out down the crease. And what that means is that the halfway stage of this match 7 of 10 in the Oman Pentangular Series is that Ireland have finished with 145 for 8 from their 20 overs. We'll be back with you with all of the chase in about 10 minutes' time.